Last year, the United Nations Human Rights Council adopted a resolution condemning the desecration of religious texts, including the Quran, despite opposition from the previous government. Acts of such mindless desecration only serve to fuel division and hatred within our society. Will the Prime Minister commit to introducing measures to prohibit the desecration of all religious texts?
The desecration is awful and I think should be condemned across the House. We are, as I said before, Mr. Speaker, committed to tackling all forms of hatred and division, including, of course, Islamophobia in all of its forms.
Did you know that in the 21st century, a time defined by progress and free speech, there are debates in the UK Parliament about reinstating laws that resemble medieval blasphemy laws? The controversy surrounding Labour Party leader Keir Starmer's fumbled response to questions about banning the desecration of religious texts has sparked a political firestorm. It's a story of political missteps, ideological clashes, and the ongoing challenge of balancing religious sensitivity with the principles of democracy.
For me, watching this clip today in Parliament, I was just stunned. Yeah. And I was also stunned. If that question wasn't depressing, what depressed me even more was Keir Starmer's response.
Yeah, look,
Hey, quick favour before we move on. If you find this political content interesting, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Most of you watch without subscribing, and it's totally free, but it helps us out so much. Have you done it yet? Thanks a ton for the support. Now, let's get back to the video. The drama began during a session in the House of Commons when Labour MP Tahir Ali made a bold plea to the Prime Minister. Ali referenced a resolution by the United Nations Human Rights Council condemning the desecration of religious texts and urged the UK to adopt similar measures. This sparked immediate interest as it touched on sensitive topics like religious freedoms and hate speech.
Prime Minister, a mealy-mouthed reply if I saw one. Why is the PM treading on eggshells over an issue that should be clear as day? I also wonder whether Sir Keir has as much concern about offending religions than he does about the poor Batley schoolteacher who's still in hiding from an Islamic mob who want to deal with him. Talking of mobs, it was revealed yesterday that a French schoolteacher across the channel was beheaded following rumours he showed his class caricatures of the Prophet Muhammad, and he actually never did.
Ali's statement set the stage for what would soon become a full-blown political debate. Labour leader Keir Starmer responded cautiously, condemning acts of desecration, but stopping short of taking a definitive stance on implementing blasphemy laws. His vague response left both critics and supporters bewildered, with many asking why he avoided taking a firm position.
Keir Starmer is known for not answering a question, and he's certainly not going to answer one that possibly might offend 3 million of his potential voters. He's clever like that, he diverts from the truth.
Starmer's hesitant reply has been described as a glaring mistake. In a society that prides itself on free speech and democratic values, his non-committal approach felt out of place. Critics argue that his unwillingness to reject the idea of blasphemy laws outright undermines the principles of free expression. Supporters of these principles believe that democratic societies must protect the right to question and criticise all ideas, including religious beliefs.
Look, this Labour MP asking for blasphemy laws is terrifying. It's 2024. What is even more terrifying is that we have non-crime hate incidents, which I think will be dished out for maybe people criticising people's...
The situation became even more complex when Starmer attempted to strike a balance between appeasing conservative religious communities and staying true to the progressive values Labour claims to uphold. This tightrope act ended up pleasing no one and sparked accusations of political cowardice.
Islamophobia and hatred, but what he's really talking about is saying that people who desecrate the Quran, people who insult the religion of Islam, should be punished by the law. It's absolutely extraordinary.
The call for banning the desecration of religious texts raises significant questions about the boundaries between religious respect and freedom of expression. In multicultural societies like the UK, these debates are challenging to navigate. While many agree that acts of desecration are offensive, critics of blasphemy laws argue that codifying such restrictions could erode fundamental freedoms.
People's religion. Look, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. I never have. But I respect people's right to have any beliefs that they have. But I must be able to criticise that. I criticise the Church of England a lot, especially over the abuse of young children over many decades.
This controversy also touches on global issues, of instances like the tragic case of a French teacher being killed after rumours of showing offensive caricatures serve as a grim reminder of how deeply these topics can divide communities. As Starmer stumbled through his response, many wondered whether he understood the gravity of the situation.
So anything that we've ever said about this issue, and I've had threats on the streets in London for talking about these issues, they will be given
As the criticism mounted, the Labour Party attempted to backtrack, with Starmer clarifying his position. However, the damage was already done. This U-turn not only highlighted Labour's internal struggles, but also exposed Starmer's leadership weaknesses. His inability to handle such a sensitive issue decisively raised questions about his suitability to lead the party or the country.
actually come after people.
But it's
I'm
worth
really worried about
but it's worse than that, isn't it? Because we actually have de facto blasphemy laws in this country, but only against
Well, they're not de facto.
Islam.
They are blasphemy
They're happening.
laws, you know.
We've got a teacher who is still in hiding, who has not been supported by this government or his Labour MP, the Batley case. We had a mother whose autistic son scuffed a Quran in the playground and was paraded by the police in front of the local imams wearing a headscarf to apologise, pleading for her son's life. When it comes to Islam and the Quran, we already have those laws because everybody's too terrified of them to do anything.
The U-turn served as a microcosm of Labour's broader challenges. The party has struggled to balance its progressive ideals with practical governance. Whether on cultural debates, fiscal policies or environmental issues, Labour has frequently found itself accused of lacking clarity and conviction.
Well, to burn a Quran.
Absolutely you should. Just like you should be able to burn a Bible or
But you
War and
can't,
Peace.
there's all sorts of things you can't burn under law, like flags.
You can burn flags.
Well, they
You can't burn some flags.
Well, you can burn our flags.
You can burn our flags.
In
Right,
this country.
okay.
But if you're Lawrence Fox, you can't.
Yeah, look,
you can't
listen,
set fire to it.
I think you should be able to say whatever you want about any religion. I wouldn't, because actually I'd be respectful, and I'd hope that most people would. Because what's the point? It's not moral, but if I want to, I should be able to.
The public reaction to Labour's handling of this controversy was divided. Some applauded Starmer for attempting to address the concerns of religious communities, while others lambasted him for failing to uphold free speech. This division reflects the broader societal tensions surrounding issues of multiculturalism and democratic freedoms.
Everyone is opposed to racism against Muslims, and if you see it and hear it, you should call it out and you should challenge it. But when this actually was a very clear illustration of what is meant by Islamophobia, it means Islamic blasphemy laws. If you make Islamophobia illegal, then you make it difficult to challenge Islam, aspects of the religion, certain religious practices, but even Islamist extremism.
Critics pointed to examples of how other political figures have handled similar situations. Seema Malhotra, for instance, unequivocally rejected the idea of blasphemy laws, emphasising the importance of free speech. Her clarity highlighted the stark contrast with Starmer's ambiguity.
From school, they were widely condemned. The local police arranged a meeting so that the child and his mother could be berated by the local Muslim community. So, you know, even if Keir Starmer doesn't have to agree to a formal blasphemy law, we actually have that situation really anywhere in the country informally. What we need from a leader is to push back against the restrictions that already exist.
John Cooper, a vocal critic of Starmer, underscored this point by highlighting the dangers of stifling criticism under the guise of combating hate speech. His remarks tapped into a broader frustration with what many perceive as an erosion of democratic values.
Extraordinary. And for Keir Starmer, he only needed to say one word, and that word was no. The fact that he couldn't use that word is really, really chilling and alarming.
This controversy has significant implications for the Labour Party's future. It raises critical questions about the party's identity and direction. Can Labour recycle its progressive ideals with the practicalities of governance? Will Starmer's leadership withstand the scrutiny brought on by this incident? These are questions the party must address if it hopes to regain public trust.
What we need from a leader is to push back against the restrictions that already exist, not agree to more restrictions.
The debate over blasphemy laws also serves as a reminder of the complexities of leadership in a diverse society. Balancing respect for religious beliefs with the protection of free speech is no easy task. However, as this incident demonstrates, indecision can be just as damaging as taking a controversial stance.
Isn't it? Because he doesn't clearly want to do that. You can see he was looking quite uncomfortable yesterday answering that question, and he made this kind of very banal statement about how we abhor all hate and discrimination. Well, great, but that doesn't really help us. It doesn't mean anything. Labour are still in thrall, aren't they, to the Muslim vote, effectively, and they're frightened of upsetting them.
The Labour Party's handling of this controversy offers valuable lessons in political leadership. Decisiveness and clarity are essential when navigating complex issues. Starmer's cautious approach may have been intended to avoid alienating key constituencies, but it ultimately alienated nearly everyone. For Labour to move forward, it must refine its messaging and foster stronger internal cohesion. The party needs to articulate a clear vision that resonates with both its base and the broader public. This incident, while damaging, also presents an opportunity for Labour to learn and grow.
Sort of already halfway there, aren't we? Because I mean, we have conversations all the time about the tiptoeing around subjects that people do, whether they're politicians or members of the media or just ordinary people. And we've also got the Labour government looking very enthusiastic about hate crime and bringing in all sorts of other rules which will apply to you if you say something that somebody doesn't like.
Labour Party's mishandling of the blasphemy law controversy could have long-lasting implications for its political future. As the party seeks to position itself as a credible alternative to the Conservative government, moments like these risk undermining its appeal to key voter demographics. Progressive voters, who prioritise free speech and secularism, may view Labour as increasingly out of touch with their values. At the same time, the party's attempts to cater to religious communities could alienate more conservative voters concerned about preserving traditional British liberties.
That, I think, on this specific issue, there is a nervousness around criticising Islam, but also Keir Starmer just doesn't believe in free speech at all. And this goes way back through his career. Even when he was Director of Public Prosecutions, he was the one pursuing, people may remember the infamous Twitter joke trial, where someone tweeted a joke about them blowing up their local airport if they didn't sort out the queues.
It was Nottingham,
It was in Nottingham, yeah. And Keir Starmer was the Director of Public Prosecutions who pursued that trial against the grain of public.
The controversy has also reignited internal debates within Labour, exposing fractures between its progressive and centrist factions. Reconciling these divisions will be crucial for the party's electoral prospects, particularly as it prepares for the next general election.
He's long had an authoritarian streak. He's not someone who particularly cares for free speech, defending free speech. And as you say, Labour in general, as well as wanting to restrict Islamophobia, being aware of wanting to protect the feelings of the Muslim community, in general they want to increase the scope of hate crime laws, non-crime hate incidents. Everything is looking bad for free speech when it comes to this government. All the indicators are going in the wrong direction.
The blasphemy law debate offers valuable lessons for political leaders navigating the complexities of modern governance. First and foremost, it underscores the importance of clarity and decisiveness in addressing contentious issues. Ambiguity, as demonstrated by Keir Starmer's response, often exacerbates tensions rather than alleviating them. In conclusion, the Labour Party's handling of the blasphemy law debate has been a cautionary tale of political miscalculation. However, it also presents an opportunity for reflection and growth. By learning from its mistakes and addressing the underlying issues head-on, Labour can emerge stronger and more unified, better equipped to navigate the challenges of modern governance. If you enjoyed this breakdown, leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Watch more videos here for the latest insights and updates.